The invisible thief. Sounds kind of dramatic, doesn't it? Well, we're about to dive into a story about a very real, hidden threat that quietly steals millions from our food supply chain and the incredible tech that's finally fighting back.
I mean, think about that for a second. How is it possible for a business to lose a full quarter of its profits and not even see it coming? It sounds impossible, right? But for one massive global industry, this isn't some hypothetical scenario. It's a daily, invisible reality.
And that industry is poultry farming. The threat we're talking about isn't a fox in the henhouse or a sudden crash in the market. No, this enemy is microscopic, it's sneaky, and it attacks from inside the flock itself. So, to really get a handle on the scale of this problem, we need to unmask the culprits. In the industry, they've earned a pretty chilling nickname, these silent profit killers. Okay, get ready for some scientific names here. Meet Mycoplasma Gallisepticum and Mycoplasma Synoviae. We'll just call them MG and MS. These two little bacteria are so effective because their damage just builds and builds over time. The infections are often subclinical, which is just a fancy way of saying the birds don't even look sick at first. They just get a little weaker day by day until the financial damage is already done. So what kind of damage are we talking about? Well, for starters, how about a drop in egg production of up to 20%? That's a massive direct hit to revenue. But trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And this is where you see the real domino effect kick in. See, it's not just about fewer eggs. It's also about lower hatchability rates, the birds not converting feed into growth efficiently, and your medication costs just skyrocketing. All of this from an enemy you can't even see. So when you add it all up, all those little things, the final number is just staggering. These infections can slash a farm's annual profit by a full 25%. A quarter of the bottom line, just gone, erased by that microscopic thief. Which brings us to the real heart of the problem. If this thing is so destructive, why is it so darn hard to stop? Well, it's because this is an enemy that has perfected the art of hiding in plain sight. The number one challenge is just detection. The symptoms are super vague, that is, if they show up at all in the early stages. So the bacteria just spreads silently from bird to bird long before anyone has a clue something's wrong. You know, a farm manager might see a slight dip in performance and just chalk it up to the feed or the weather. A quick visual inspection? Yeah, that's not going to cut it. And even when you do see symptoms, like some swelling or a bit of coughing, I mean, what does that really tell you? It's so nonspecific, it could be a dozen different things. So you end up treating the symptom, but the whole time, that underlying infection just keeps on spreading silently and costing you money. For years, this was just how it was, this frustrating cycle of guesswork and losing money. But then, something changed. A diagnostic revolution hit the scene, a turning point that took the entire industry from just kind of guessing to absolute molecular precision. And the difference is, well, it's night and day. The old way meant you were stuck waiting for days for lab results, while the whole time that outbreak was quietly growing. The new way, it gives you the gold standard of detection right there, right now. You get certainty in hours, not days, which means you can actually contain the problem before it gets out of hand. This graph just lays it all out, plain and simple. See that steep blue line shooting up? That's the new reality. You get what we call actionable certainty. You know exactly what you're dealing with in under 2 hours. Now that slow, creeping red curve, that's the old way, waiting more than 72 hours. That huge gap in between, that's when a tiny, localized problem explodes into a full-blown, farm-wide crisis. So what's the technology behind this massive leap? You've probably heard of it. It's called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. The absolute easiest way to think about it is like a biological photocopier. It's brilliant. It can find one single tiny fragment of the bacteria's DNA in a sample, and then it just hits copy a million times over, amplifying that signal until it's so loud and clear it's impossible to miss. No more guesswork. It's either there or it isn't. And what's a total game changer is that now, amazing systems like this one here bring that powerful lab-grade technology right out of the fancy lab and put it directly on the farm. It creates this dead simple, automated, sample-in, result-out system that pretty much anyone can use. And the advantages here are huge. First, the speed is just unmatched. We're talking results in about 85 minutes. Second, the accuracy is top-notch, just as good as the best reference labs in the world. Third, it's fully automated, which cuts down on human error. And finally, this one is crucial. It lets you control biosecurity because you're keeping all your samples right there on the farm. Okay, so this tech is incredible. But how does it all come together? Because, getting data fast is one thing. The real power is in turning that data into decisive, profit-saving action. It all starts with a smart sampling strategy. You can test different types of samples for different reasons. A quick swab from the back of a bird's throat acts as your early warning system. Deeper swabs can confirm just how bad an infection is. You can even test the dust in the air to monitor the health of the entire flock at once. It's all about being proactive, not reactive. And this all feeds into a clear 4-step strategic plan. 1, you start routine weekly monitoring. 2, if you see anything suspicious, you can validate it with PCR in hours, not days. 3, this lets you be surgical. You can find and isolate just the infected groups to protect the rest of the flock. And 4, you can go to management with hard, data-driven reports to justify investment in biosecurity. You're not just asking for money, you're proving it's necessary. You build trust because you have proof. In the end, it really all boils down to this one powerful idea. In the battle against an invisible threat like Mycoplasma, speed isn't just an advantage, it is everything. Time becomes your most valuable asset because every single hour you wait for a diagnosis is another hour that profits are literally being stolen, silently and invisibly. So the question is no longer, can we stop it? We know we can. The real question now is, how quickly can we act?